ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joshua Watkins.
Good morning. Thanks. Good morning and welcome faculty, administration, friends, and family. Thank you all for being here, and especially thank you to the university for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. Allow me, if you will, to begin with a personal anecdote. I helped coach speech and debate at a few of the local high schools in Nampa, and about a month ago, one of my high school students asked for help with a scholarship essay for a Boise State program. I told her I was happy to help and asked what the topic was, to which she responded, "What is education?" And in that moment, I couldn't answer. Was this confusing for me? Sure. Embarrassing? You bet. And I've been wondering if I should even be graduating today. Much less speaking, if I can even answer or define, at least in abstract terms, what the past 4 years at Boise State have meant for me. It's led to somewhat of an existential crisis, which is what I can only imagine people go through every time they watch American Idol. I'm sorry if you watch American Idol. At first glance, some people might say that a question such as, "What is education?" is deceptively simple or maybe even too broad. But right now, across the nation, across Idaho, even across the Treasure Valley, there are boards and committees facing budget cuts and accounting errors who are trying to answer that very question as they decide which programs are worth keeping and which ones to cut. It's one thing to try to define education, but what does it look like in reality? What is reality? Thanks, philosophy department. But they are asking these questions. And if we cannot provide an adequate answer, then the classes and programs we invested in, or that invested in us, might not be around for the next class. Figuring out how we define education is important even in the best of circumstances. But with challenges of the current system, there's even more of a sense of urgency. So, I don't want to overshare too much about myself because we all just met. But I do have a secret strategy for finding the answer to questions I don't know. Google. So I typed in "what is education" into the search engine and was surprised to find that the first two results were quotations from Emma Goldman, the famed 20th century political philosopher, and Donald Trump, star of NBC's The Apprentice and My Nightmares. What, between all the anarchy and advice on how to style my hair, I figured Google was a wash, so I moved on to the next best thing. I pulled out my iPhone and asked Siri. She's so mean when I ask for attention. I really want to ask her how I'm doing right now, but I'm scared of her response. Anyway, with all of my technology options exhausted, it was time for some human interaction. So I turned to two of my closest friends, George and Vivian. But they're imaginary. Aww. So I was left to figure this out on my own. I took myself out for a nice dinner and nothing. I still couldn't figure it out. However, after a lot of introspection and wine, I've come to realize, did someone just scream for that? I've come to realize that maybe I'm not supposed to be able to answer the question, what is education, in a neat and tidy way that applies to each and every one of us. After all, the college experience is in itself marked with the seemingly contradictory combination of uniqueness and community, a journey of individual exploration that we take with those that share our interest. And I know what you're wondering. Josh, if you don't have an answer, then why are you still talking? Because I'm a narcissist. But before I leave this stage, I do want all of you to know that there is a reason Boise State calls this commencement rather than graduation. Because today, as we commence, we symbolize the beginning of the next step of our lives. And although each one of you had your own personal reasons for making it to today, education played a pivotal role in getting you here. And even if you can't define what it is for you, we all recognize its value. It's why we have so many professors and deans sitting here today. Thank you all. It's why we have our friends and family in the audience sitting so that they can celebrate this moment with us. Thank you all. Yeah. The amount of support from faculty, administration, and loved ones present in this arena today is staggering and shows that even without all the answers, you have accomplished something amazing by getting here. So, after all of that, we arrive at the question itself. What is education? For the professor who stays up until 2 a.m. in the morning responding to her needy students' emails. Yes, that's me. Education is her way of giving back to the field that gave her a career and helping her students give a better understanding of the way the world works. For the chemistry major whose grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2 years ago, education is an opportunity to selflessly prevent the heartbreak of so many others. For the nursing student and single mom who said she survived college with tears and an overload of caffeine, education is her way of giving a better life to her 3 children. For the members of football, soccer, volleyball, softball, track, and all of our other amazing teams on this campus, who graduate today with honors and want to be known as more than just an athlete, education is a way for them to prove that they are just as smart off the field as on it. For the student coming back to this university after 20 years working various jobs, who now goes to school and works full-time, education is ensuring that he can finally find his dream career, being at the front of the classroom. For the girl who joined speech and debate 4 years ago because her friend pressured her into it, and walks away today a national champion. Education is finding skills she never knew she possessed. And for the guy who grew up feeling so different from everyone else, he was scared he would never be able to fit in. Education is a way for him to feel like he is contributing to something bigger than himself, and finally getting a sense of belonging. Look, first off, my hat, but second, being up here makes me feel kind of more of a spectacle than a human. But yes, I'm moving to London for graduate school, and it's scary, and it's exciting, and an amazing opportunity, but I don't know what I'm searching for or what I'll find there. Maybe it's a job, like my dad wants, or... Sorry. Maybe it's more school, maybe it's even a relationship. I'm really hoping it's a relationship. Call me. But the biggest drawback to moving is that I won't get to see many of the high school students that I have come to care so much about this year graduate and take the next step in their lives. And that is more than a little heartbreaking. But if I could leave them with one valuable lesson, is that it is acceptable and okay to not have the answers to all of life's questions. As long as you are willing to ask yourselves questions like, what is education? And figure out how you want to answer it. Today, by graduating, or more appropriately, commencing, that is exactly what we have done. Congratulations, class of 2013.